Today we're speedrunning one block Minecraft. This is a game mode where basically there's just one block, it's infinite, and it keeps making more and more blocks. Like right now we're getting some wood along with our dirt, and then after that it's going to be a chest, and chests can have a couple of different things, they're going to be random. So this time we got some seeds and also a tree sapling. After that, once we have 3 wood, what I want to do is build out, and then we can make ourselves a crafting table, 8 sticks, and with those 8 sticks and our remaining wood, we can make ourselves a wooden axe and shovel. Right now, all we need is the axe and shovel because there's not going to be cobblestone or anything for a while. There are going to be 10 different phases. The first one is plains, but this is just the tutorial. So yeah, all it is going to be the dirt and the wood. We'll keep going, just kind of destroying this stuff, switching between our tools for which one is best. Back in 2021, I did the very first one block speedrun, but it took me over 4 hours. And since then, the speedrun community has optimized this run to an insane degree. So I wanted to try it again with those new strats. And here we go with the tutorial. We'll get that, and you'll see it's going to upgrade to the different phase, but we have some time. So in the middle, while we're waiting for this upgrade, it makes sense to build out and make everything that we're going to need. What I'm going to do is make this platform. That's looking pretty good. I'll also go ahead and make this guy, and finally do a little bit of building. We're going to make ourselves 4 stick bundles, a boat, and also some more wooden shovels and wooden axes. Then we can put down our boat right there and go back to destroying this block. How you progress in this game is just destroying the block more and more. Every time you hit it, you gain a little bit of progress, and this game takes a very long time, but we're gonna have some really cool strats to help us with that. For right now, it's pretty simple stuff. It's just the plains biome. It's gonna be stuff like watermelon every once in a while, but it's mostly dirt and wood. And then after a while, there's gonna be an animal that spawns. That time it's a pig. We don't need a pig, but after that, there could be animals that we do want. So I'm gonna block off that section for now and come on the other side so we can wait for any good animals. And right here, it's gonna be a cow. We're just gonna hit him off. Kinda sad. He did not deserve that, but I gotta do what I gotta do to go fast. Here's gonna be our sheep. All I have to do is hit this guy forward. He's gonna run away from us, and since we blocked off that other part, he's gonna go straight to our boat, and we're gonna want 2 sheep in total. And here's gonna be that sheep. Exact same thing. We're just gonna hit him forward. Eventually he goes into the boat because there's not too much space, and then we can get rid of that other part, get rid of that block because we don't need to block it off anymore, and going about our day shoveling and using our axe on any wood. These chickens are also interesting to get rid of because they look up at you sadly as they're falling off the edge. It's a little sad. I mean, they're looking at me like, you betrayed me, but to be fair, I never made any promises to you. I just gotta go fast. And here is gonna be our final chest, because it has the hearts around it. And then what I'm gonna wanna do is build out around my sheep. I can build that right there. That way we have a wall for them so they can't get off the map. And I'm gonna continue building this wall with a bunch of dirt. And then right here as well, I wanna start building out from there. I also wanna put this grass block down because if you have a grass block there, then grass will grow around it. And we need grass if we're gonna get these sheep to get more wool. Then after that, we'll just build some more, make sure I'm nice and protected, and make both a fence gate and a couple of fences. Then all we gotta do is put this stuff around them. And yes, this is taking a little bit of time, but it's very worth it to set up for something we need later. But that's going to be our sheep. We can get them out of the boat. We can leave. Dude, get out of my way. All right. And then all we have to do is finally make a pick. Yep, there's actually going to be cobblestone, which is really good because that also means we're going to get stone tools soon. And by soon, I mean right away. All we have to do is break 3 of these just like normal, make our stone pick to replace the wooden one, and go about breaking all this stone. That's because this section is the underground, and it's very nice to get tools that you can use to break stuff faster. And we're also going to start getting iron. So along with that first iron, what I want to make is a furnace and some other stone tools. So we have the stone axe and the stone shovel, and then we'll put the furnace down. We can put the iron ore down and the coal we got and start smelting from there. Also, one important thing is item management because your inventory isn't too big, and I just have to make sure I get rid of a bunch of the trash. So whenever I think about it, we'll just throw that stuff off the edge, put important stuff in our chest, put a torch down, that way we can see at night, and keep going. We'll get another one of these iron right there. I can place it in the furnace, and yeah, you kind of get the idea from here. By the way, yeah, these are very simple strats right now, but just wait because we have some cool stuff later in the run. One thing to worry about in one block is mobs. Like right here, it spawned 2 zombies just coming straight towards us. But for the most part, with this design, we can just hit them off the map. And once we get enough iron, our very first thing we want to make is obviously the iron pickaxe. It's what's carrying us right now, especially in the underground. And we'll follow that with an iron axe and an iron shovel. By the way, if you end up enjoying the video, please subscribe. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm, and I'd really appreciate it. Other than that, the underground is pretty simple. We get out of it soon. Now we have 30 seconds seconds to prepare our next stuff. And for this one, we're going to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I can just do it off this cliff right by here. If you do it too close to the place where the items collect though, there's a mechanic that makes sure that blocks drop on the one block. That way they don't go into the void. So we just have to make sure we're far enough away so that doesn't get activated. Then we can also put our leather in the chest just in case we need to make some books. We'll get the rest of our iron. We can make a second furnace, which is going to be nice. Just place the coal in there for now, and also make some shears because we got to start getting some wool. Our sheep are just going to be right here, and here's why we have this really easy to get into and out of place on the map, because we're going to need a bunch of beds to beat the dragon later in the run. Final thing we want to do is place some cobblestone up there, and that's just going to keep us protected because it is high enough to make sure we're not going to be able to fall off the map. And we can also keep ourselves protected from any mobs. Also, another thing is I do want to start bringing out the melon slices. Those are something we got earlier in the game in the plains biome, and they're going to be our main food source early on. But this is going to be the icy tundra. That means there's more people like this wolf who really wants to eat my sheep right now. I do feel bad for the wolves and animals like that because they do just want to survive and they have to sit on just a single block. A little bit sad, but you know, when you have people like that show up, the strays who are trying to shoot at you and accidentally just shot at the dog, you got to keep yourself protected, and this is the best way to do so. Another big reason to have this head protection thing is this is where monster parties start showing up, and as you can see, these just spawn tons of different enemies that come down at you. I mean, I guess for this first one it's not too many, but you get one monster party in each one of the phases, and by having something like this, we can just keep them on their own little island. Finally, when a chest spawns, they die. That's because the chest is slightly lower, so once you destroy it, they don't just stand on top of the block. It's kind of a funny way to go out. Very sad for them though. Now here's where Icy Tundra is going to end, and we're going to get a ton of trash. There's so much stuff just sitting on there and so much different stuff. So what I want to do is aim myself to where my stuff will fall off and won't get auto collected, but I also get new stuff right away. That way we can just keep getting rid of all this random trash, and there's so many snowballs especially. And after that, we still have a little bit of time left, so I'm going to put both my gold and my iron in my furnaces. And then from there, we're going to get onto the ocean biome, which is pretty much the same as the icy tundra. I mean, obviously it has different stuff, but we're just going to be breaking stuff with our pickaxe, axe, shovel, you already know. And I guess we do have one more thing we're going to add to our arsenal, which is getting this golden hoe. There's no reason to get it iron because we're not going to use it enough. So gold is going to be the best option because it is going to be the fastest to break everything, even if it breaks easily itself. Also, right there, that's going to be a diamond. And right after that, I actually got to use my golden hoe. I believe that was coral that we broke. I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to start getting diamonds and hopefully get diamond gear soon. I like this monster party though, because it's going to spawn us guardians and an elder guardian. But before they can attack us and before the elder guardian can slow down our mining speed, they just jump off the map. So see you guys later. It was that easy to deal with. That finishes up the ocean biome though. And like usual, just get rid of a bunch of our stuff. One thing we will want to keep is books though. When these show up, those will be very important for our future strats. And we got 4, which is the perfect amount. Also keep the paper in case I need to make some more books. Then like usual, smelt both our iron and our gold. We always need more of both of those. Shear our sheep because the grass is finally starting to grow here, so they get more wool. And we really want to be protected at this point. So what we're going to do is first make a trap door. And we can also put our melon slices in our offhand for extra protection before making a fort around us. Yep, we want this whole thing to just be around us because you very much need to be safe for this next part. We can also get an iron chest plate so we have a little bit of armor, and that's because for the jungle dungeon biome, the game likes to spawn vexes, which are those little blue guys, and how they work is if they see you, they will come and attack you. They'll even go through walls, so we want to make sure they have the least amount of line of sight as possible. Thankfully, I only got hit once there, but they're still going to fly around this entire place and just be annoying. So unless I have to go out, I do want to just chill in here. I want to eat my watermelon, keep my health as much as possible. You can see that guy just flying around. I'm going to try to get out of the way. He comes, attacks me anyway, goes through my walls, but there is also going to be our diamond. And I do have to take kind of a risk here just to make sure we go get that diamond. The diamond pickaxe is worth it though, because it just speeds us up another good amount. And just like when we made our iron upgrades, we're going to want to upgrade our axe and then shovel next, which will be easy because from here on out, we're going to start getting more and more diamonds. This monster party is also definitely scary because it's going to spawn in vexes, of course, but it's going to spawn in a bunch of them. Spiders, not really the biggest deal. It also spawns in a witch. Don't have to deal with that too much as well. It's just the vexes because you can get a lot of these guys just aiming at you over and over again. And another big thing is we do want these guys to leave our map and get out of our line of sight, because after we get done with this section, obviously we need to build out and we have to start our next strats. So I just want to make sure they're not by me at all. As you can see, I got some pretty good luck with my diamonds, getting both a diamond shovel and axe before anything else. And now what we want to do here is get rid of our render distance, hopefully to despawn all the vexes that might be around, and start taking this stuff, getting rid of it. I'm going to be in more of a safe position just to make sure one won't see me and just snipe me out of the air. Both the blocks and the stuff in the chest is going to be random. We just have to deal with that. But there's going to be this vex right here, and I do want to build out. I mean, we could play this safe right here, but that's kind of annoying. So I think we just kill this guy. I'm pretty sure it's only this vex left, and we can just come in with our axe. Dude is just flying around, kind of being an idiot. But from there, we wanted to get rid of this dude because he could very easily just push me off the map. It's happened before. It is not fun. But I want to build out there, make sure I'm safe around the back as well. Then we can go ahead and make ourselves a bookshelf. And with that bookshelf, we're going to make ourselves a lectern. So we can place that right there, place the boat by it, and we're going to want to get a villager stuck in here. But we're now in the red desert, which means villagers can spawn. So we're kind of just waiting for one. We're not going to get rid of the path in the middle. That way we don't block them off. There's also going to be things like emeralds that spawn right here. I will take that just to make sure it's in my inventory so I can grab them really quickly if I need to go out to get more. But we need the emeralds because those are going to be useful for villager traits. Here is finally going to be that villager, by the way, and now I got to get him to come over to my boat. These guys can be kind of annoying sometimes because they really just like sitting still. So I want to move this guy a little bit fast, but also not fall off the map. Dude, please get out of my way. Okay, he's actually just going to walk right over there because he does want the trade, and we didn't get the trade we wanted. But that's because the trade we want is very unlikely. We'll deal with that later, though. We're going to get through the red desert first. So we can put back up our defenses, get rid of that stuff, and get rid of the path between because we don't need any more people at this point. And, of course, do some more smelting, get all of that iron because we are going to need to make an anvil. Thankfully, things like vexes aren't going to show up anymore. We just get these zombie guys. But the big issue of this section is going to be the pillagers. Pillagers can spawn in like that guy who's just kind of sitting between two zombies. And one time I kept the path open and this guy just went straight over and killed my villager, which was very annoying because it ended the run. I just want them on their own little island. So here is going to be the red desert done. And here's where it's going to get really awful and then really fun afterwards, because you'll see that we have a total of 28 emeralds and we need to get an efficiency book. So first of all, what I can do is make my anvil because we're going to need it for the books. We got to make 3 blocks of iron. Then we can put those blocks of iron on some other iron. That's going to be our iron anvil. And then we want to come up to our lectern. We can break it, and just for convenience sake, I'll put it on my #1 spot. Just got to move this slightly out the way so I can actually place blocks. But now we're going to go back and forth, placing down our lectern, talking to Walter, trying to get a good trade out of him, and trying to get an efficiency book. And what we want is a cheap book that's less than 28 emeralds and is going to be efficiency 5 preferably. But efficiency 5 is really hard to get for just 28 emeralds, so most of the time it won't happen. So efficiency 4 or sometimes even efficiency 3 I will take. It'll just depend on the trade. But from here, yeah, this is all I get to do. So this is an efficiency 3 book, but for only 11 emeralds, that's kind of a steal. So I think we actually take this. Right now, I can actually get 2 of those books. Then we can put our anvil down, make another pickaxe because we want one that's fresh, and put the efficiency book on both our pickaxe and axe. For that price, we'll be able to use that on every single one of our tools, so I think it's worth it. Especially because of the fact that even if you are going to try to go for an efficiency 5 book, there's like a less than 1% chance you actually get it, and there's even less of a chance that it's cheap enough for us to actually be able to buy, so I think this might be better. And you can see we just completely destroy every single one of these blocks, and we're also going to start getting netherite, which is really good too. The big thing we wanted the efficiency book for, though, is going to be that obsidian, just getting rid of it much faster, and we'll keep going for this netherite because we want 4 to make a netherite pickaxe. Oh, this section obviously is the nether, by the way, so it's going to start giving us things like blazes. These guys are awful because they can just destroy you. That's why we want almost nothing to be wood. Our wooden trapdoor is there, but I don't even think that can get on fire. And yeah, we're going to want to put back up this wall just to make sure we're as protected for blazes as possible. This monster party is also insane because we have blazes, we have people like gas who are going to show up, and yeah, just everything that we don't want to be here is going to show up. We want to make sure we're nice and protected. And I mean, we are with this situation, at least as protected as you can be when there are blazes that can shoot fire at your face. We can make ourselves a netherite ingot, then we can make a smithing table, then go over to our anvil. And I want to combine both of my diamond pickaxes. That way it can have more durability before we go back to the smithing table and we make it into netherite, so we're now kind of insane. And this is going to speed up us even more, so we're now even breaking these blocks faster. It feels very good. And you can see why we did this strat, why we did use so much time to get that efficiency book. Finally, the Nether is done. And you can also see the upgrade times are taking longer and longer. It's now up to 80 seconds, but I'll take that because I do want some time to do other stuff. There's somehow going to be a blaze up here. I don't even know how you got up there, dude. And then there's also a blaze in the boat with our guy. Why are you back here, dude? Gets rid of the boat. Good thing I don't really need it too much anymore, as long as this guy doesn't fall off, because we do want to buy some more books for him at some point. We only have 3 more phases until we have to fight the dragon. And also here, because we do have the iron, I might as well make some gear. I'll make myself some iron pants, and we'll make the rest of our gear once it's done smelting. Also get some more wool from these guys, which we do have 32 wool right now, which is more than enough. So we can make a bunch of beds with that. That's going to make us a total of 10. And I like placing these guys in a different chest, just so I know where they are and I can take them later. And now this phase is going to be the idol. I don't really know what that means, but there's going to be some more interesting enemies and also some more emeralds finally. I will check how many that is just to make sure. Place all of our important stuff in this chest, like the blaze rods, and then we can go grab this other efficiency book, get a diamond efficiency 3 shovel, and now we are completely decked out with every tool we need. Yeah, I definitely think going for efficiency 3 was a good strategy, especially when it's that cheap, because now we can just get through everything so quickly and we're gonna destroy the rest of this game. But the big thing that it likes spawning here are gonna be the bees. Now some of the bees, they're not too bad, like those guys, they didn't even try to attack us, but other times it spawns bees that are already angry at us, so they're gonna hit us once and it doesn't really do that much damage. But I do want to make sure I just constantly eat. This biome also likes to spawn in phantoms, which not the most annoying thing right now because we have all the protection around us, but later we will have to deal with them. By the way, quick shout out to Valen and Amanda Wen, who are the best players of this category and who I believe made most of these strats. Also shout out to Curryway, who made a speedrun on 1 block in 2023. It's a very good video, and it was one of the things that inspired me to finally touch this category again, just, you know, way later. But now, as you can see, there are tons of phantoms that are just up in the sky, and they're going to come and try to attack us anytime we come out of our little hole. So instead of letting them stay alive, what we're going to do is jump off the map, and that actually gets rid of all the phantoms, so we no longer have to deal with them. Now, we do get rid of our XP, which isn't the best thing in the world, but we don't really need too much of it anymore, so it is definitely just something you want to do. And then we'll go ahead, get rid of all the blocks we don't need. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't mention it because I was doing the shoutouts, but obviously put all our important gear in our chest, and now we can come over here, grab all the stuff we got rid of. But I am realizing I forgot to take off my iron armor. Not the biggest deal, we'll just get some more iron from there, but also not the greatest thing I've ever done. For now though, we're actually going to make ourselves another diamond pick, and then make that diamond pick into netherite, because then we can just get up its durability, or at least I can once I have some more XP, and that'll just be important because otherwise our pickaxe would definitely die. We can also have these golden carrots be our new main food source because they just heal you up so much, and from here we'll make some new iron gear, and also might as well make some diamond gear because we do have the extra diamonds anyways. But this is going to be our next section, which is going to be the Desolate Land, and I also got rid of some of my dirt, so I guess we're using wood for that. Not the biggest deal. We're on the Desolate Land now, which is going to be the whole fortress and all that kind of stuff. And this area has really tough enemies. Like, you got these skeletons on their skeleton horses, you have supercharged creepers, and you even have evokers, which will spawn vexes on you, so definitely don't want to deal with them. I'm just staying in this hole the entire time. Now, one kind of scary thing are these cave spiders, because they can sometimes get inside of our tiny little bit of opening we have, but one of them might have actually did something worse, where I think it just got on top of my whole platform. Somehow it got a super jump, so we will have to deal with that guy later. Now it's going to be the monster party, just spawning all kinds of guys. People like vexes are back. I hate vexes. Get out of here, spider. Gets on top of here as well. I'm gonna have to deal with a couple of these cave spiders later on. But out of all the sections, this one is definitely my least favorite. But there's our second to last section done. And now we gotta deal with everything else that's around us. First of all, though, I might as well make some pants. Gonna need that bit of extra protection, or I don't really need it, but might as well have it. Then we'll see there are a couple of these cave spiders. There's a few of them, actually. One of them got in our boat. Kind of sad for this tiny cave spider that's just kind of sitting in there. Nope. Okay, well, I guess I felt too sad for it. Still, not the hardest thing to deal with, especially when we have all of our armor. And I'm also realizing I somehow got rid of my extra obsidian. Not the best, but 3 crying obsidian should be enough. And I also got a feather falling book, which is really good. Like, I'm gonna take that. We'll go ahead, make some diamond boots, take out our beds because we might as well have those, combine both of our netherite pickaxes just to make sure it doesn't break. Realize I forgot to actually enchant my diamond boots, so now we'll do that. Put the feather falling on them. That's just gonna keep us extra safe, and we are in a super good spot now where all all we have left is the end phase. So this is going to be a fun part where we're just going through here, and there's not too many things to worry about besides for shulkers. Shulkers are the main enemy that are going to be scary, and they're not too scary actually. They can just do kind of annoying things to you. The game will just spawn shulkers somewhere on our island. Like we can see this guy who's just chilling right here, so I will actually take care of him. But they can use their attacks to make us go up into the air. Thankfully, we do have our feather falling, so it's never going to be too much of an issue, but just kind of annoying, making us go a little bit slower. But the big thing that we do want is just more ender pearls. We both might need to make some eyes of ender if we don't get lucky with chests, and we need ender pearls just to defeat the dragon. So yeah, just hoping we get those. Finally though, the game is going to say the end is near. We can get rid of that chest and all of that kind of stuff. And I actually do want to play this kind of safe because there are a couple of shulkers on my island, and I don't want them to put me up into the air. So I'm going to put walls and things just to protect us so we can take the items we need. I have some ender pearls, not as much as I would want, so I'd prefer a few more, or maybe just some eyes of ender. We can also take those golden carrots, and there's going to be 2 eyes of ender, which is good enough because now we can make a couple of those into the eyes of ender, and we're also going to make a bow. And the great thing about right here is you only actually need 4 eyes of ender because it gives you a portal that's already mostly filled in. If you've ever seen a Minecraft speedrun, you know that we want to one cycle this dragon by using our beds. I'm also going to put on hitboxes by pressing F3 plus B. That'll just help us one cycle the dragon, but from there I can come up to the main part right here. I can place down this crying obsidian. I just want to put a couple down there. I like getting rid of these torches because they're kind of annoying. And then from here, I'm actually going to use my bow. Now, normally when you're one cycling the dragon, you actually don't have to worry about the towers or any of these crystals because all they do is heal the dragon. And when it's down perching, it won't be able to be healed. But I've actually gotten to this point like 2 or 3 times and just lost the run because I'm not the best at one cycling. Or more so, you've been playing the game for 2 hours just mining a single block, and then having to one cycle is kind of difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I do wish my aim was a bit better, but it doesn't matter anyways because this dragon is taking a while to perch, and I think that's all the towers. So now we just have to watch for the dragon, wait for it to do its turn. And here is the part where your nerves really start to get to you. It's been 2 hours. You don't want to waste this run like the other ones, but we're gonna see what direction the dragon turns. That time it's gonna be right. I want to place down a bed. It wasn't placing for me right away, so that could have been very bad. And now from here, what we're aiming for is the head. Now my first few beds, not the best in the world, but if we can get the rest of these, we should be good. There's going to be the ender dragon dead. That was a little bit sloppy, I'm not gonna lie, but I will take it. Thank you. I no longer have to mine the same block over and over again. It's done. 157.10. That's gonna be 6th place on the leaderboards, and I'll take it. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.